because that donor milk is about $3 to $5 an ounce, and that's expensive. That's expensive, okay? I mean, in the beginning, when your baby's eating an ounce or 2 ounces of feeding, it might not seem that expensive, but how long does that last? A week or two? No. It's expensive. Peace, family. Hey, mommies. Welcome back to my channel. I am Crystal Divine, and excuse me. And today I'm going to be talking about donor milk, donor breast milk. Okay, would you, do you, and how do you? How do you do that? How does this process even work? Okay, so I met a lady the other day. She is not breastfeeding anymore. She has a baby who is about 6 months old. She's such a cute little girl. She's so cute. But she's not breastfeeding anymore. She's formula feeding her baby, and she was having issues with her baby throwing up a lot, like excessively, like 5 or 6 times a day. And of course her pediatrician told her that, oh, it's normal. I think she said that they switched her formula a couple of times. It's still happening, wasn't getting any better. And the pediatrician was basically telling her at that point, you know, just wait until about 6 to 8 weeks, and then, you know, she'll be fine. She should stop throwing up by then, you know. But that's like a major inconvenience to a mom, like to deal with your baby throwing up, spitting up all day, all throughout the day, and like, hello, something's not right. So I literally had just met this woman, and we were talking about this, and I offered advice. You know, I asked her, like, well, have you ever considered like making milk, because I know that you can make milk that is similar to breast milk, that would be easier on a baby's tummy as far as digestion goes. And she had never heard about that, and she was like, oh, I'll look into that or whatever. And so we like kept on talking, and then eventually she asked me about donor milk. She was like, you know, I guess she kind of like felt my holistic vibe, if that's what you want to call it, but she like asked my opinion on it. And she was like, you know, how do you feel about it? Would you do something like that? And I basically told her that, you know, if I was unable to breastfeed for whatever reason, you know, because there are reasons where moms can't breastfeed, okay? If I was not able to breastfeed and the formula was tearing my baby up, or if it even got to the point where I've got to figure something out, or I'm going to have to give my baby formula, I would consider it. I would consider it. Now, what I know about breast milk is that it's very custom made. It's very custom made for your baby, and it adapts to your baby as your baby grows and changes and develops. Okay, so my only concern would be the lack of nutrients, or just that lack of custom made milk for my baby, because it's not my milk from my body, you know, it's milk from another woman's body. But I was telling her, like, I'm pretty sure that, you know, whoever donates milk, they go through like a very thorough exam. They probably ask you questions as well, match you up with the best milk. You know, at that point I didn't really know too much about it, but I was telling her that, you know, I would still consider it, because at the end of the day it's still breast milk, and it's alive, and it ain't no baby formula. And I mean, come on now, back in the day, Massa had us breastfeeding their babies, so it's not a foreign concept, okay? So after meeting this mom and having this conversation with her, you know, I just wanted to like look into it more and find out more about it, you know, so I can put the information out there for you guys. And for any moms out there who are struggling with breastfeeding, maybe they're like fighting the fight, holding on because they don't want to formula feed their baby, here are some alternatives, okay? So I already said that you can make breast milk. Do your research, find out about that. but you can also get donor breast milk. So I'm gonna go into more details about those two things, but before I do, I want to go ahead and tell you guys to subscribe to my channel if you are not already. Hit the like button, get it out the way so you don't forget, and save your comments for the end of this video, or just drop 5 different comments throughout the video. I don't care, I'll answer them all. All right, and let's get into this video. This video. My arms are killing me, y'all, because I've been working out. I'm trying to, girl, about to turn 30. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to look good for my 30th birthday. I ain't gonna have no six-pack, but you know, I want to at least be able to stand up in the picture and not have to suck it all in. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me stop playing. Let me get into this, okay? Okay. What I did find out is that donor milk is actually extremely safe, okay? It's basically extra milk from a mother who is breastfeeding. That mom who wants to donate her breast milk is tested for any kind of diseases or illnesses that could pass through the breast milk. I believe that they take blood work from the mom to determine this. Donor milk is available at hospitals, something I did not know because nobody ever told me that before. But donor milk is available at hospitals, and there's also local banks, not banks that you go put your money in, okay? Breast milk banks that you can get milk from too. Now at the hospital, it's kind of like a need basis, you know. They usually have it on standby for the preemie babies, okay? So if there's not a high demand for preemies at the moment, then you could possibly get your hands on some donor milk, just depending on how, you know, severe your situation is, which makes a lot of sense because I'm pretty sure that they're going to offer you formula. You're probably going to have to request donor milk and fight for that donor milk, basically. Now, if you want to go to a local bank outside of the hospital, you need a prescription from your pediatrician. Ain't that something? You can't just pull up and buy. You have to get a prescription from your pediatrician in order to shop at the local bank. And you're probably going to have to be put on some type of waiting list because the demand for donor milk is very high. Again, most of the time the banks are just like the hospital, you know, they're holding on to that milk for these preemies and these babies who are very, very, very sick when they're born, to kind of get them back up to, you know, get their nutrition back up to where it needs to be so they can be on their own, spread their wings and fly. And the nutritional needs of each baby varies, you know, every baby doesn't need the same thing. So you are going to have to fight for that donor breast milk. So with that being said, mommies, make sure that you do whatever you can to breastfeed your baby on your own, okay? Your milk is the best milk, okay? So that's why natural birth is so good, because these medical interventions, they lead to complications, not just with childbirth, but they also lead to complications with breastfeeding, okay? Check out some of my other videos. I'm gonna put some links in the description box below just so you can learn how medical interventions play out into your afterbirth experience, especially with breastfeeding, okay? Now, there is another option that you can get donor breast milk, and it's called the internet. But beware, okay? There are risks associated with the internet being your source for breast milk, okay? The reason being is because there's no screening process when you get your breast milk off of the internet. Normally, you're just getting or shopping for your milk from a community of moms who come together and they're giving whatever they have left over, or they're pumping milk, you know, for you. It's more like a trade, honestly. It's more like a trade. So the risk, along with not being, you know, properly screened for diseases and illnesses, is that you're unsure. There's no guarantee that the milk was properly stored, and that's very important to give a baby fresh breast milk, okay? Breast milk goes bad real fast, and you can't keep it frozen for forever either, okay? It's alive. So how do you get your breast milk, donor milk, okay? 9 times out of 10, if you're looking for a local bank, you need to contact your state department of social services or your state department of health. There's also a foundation or organization called the HMBANA, okay? And that stands for Human Milk Bank Associates of North America, okay? They are almost all over the United States, even a little bit of Canada, and I think there's about 27 to 30 and counting states that they have a bank in. Now, the price of this milk is expensive, okay? And they vary from bank to bank, but the milk is not cheap. So this is another reason why you want to do everything in your power to not make it complicated for you to be able to breastfeed your baby, okay? Because that donor milk is about $3 to $5 an ounce, and that's expensive. That's expensive, okay? I mean, in the beginning, when your baby's eating an ounce or 2 ounces of feeding, it might not seem that expensive, but how long does that last? A week or two? That could be anywhere from $60 to $150 a day for breast milk. Now just imagine if you're a woman who has a very severely sick baby who needs breast milk, who can't take formula, and you gotta kick out all that cash. Some insurance might pay for it, but most of it is not. I know Medicaid is definitely not going to cover the cost for donor breast milk. That's not an option. And most of us are on Medicaid or Medicare or whatever they call it where you live. Now back to getting it online. This is cheaper. This is a cheaper method because, like I said, it's a group of moms, a community of moms that get together and barter breast milk pretty much. If it's not in exchange for money, it might be in exchange for services. You know, I kind of like that concept, that idea of moms coming together to work together. But you know, you just have to be very aware of that person that you're getting the milk from and what type of lifestyle they're living, what type of eating habits do they have, because everything you eat goes in the breast milk as well. You know, if somebody like me who's a vegan, I don't want to give my baby breast milk and that person is still drinking cow milk. That creeps me out. One other option is called cross nursing, okay? This is also have been known as a wet nurse. Way back in the day, that's what they used to call her. A wet nurse. A wet nurse is a person who breastfeeds another person's baby directly from her breast. Now, that may sound kind of to you, but this was actually kind of popular according to my research. You know, there are a lot of moms out here who are really doing this, and they're okay with another woman breastfeeding their baby. And like I said, this is something that us women have been doing for centuries, but the risks are still the same as, you know, getting donor milk from another mom. Hey baby! Hey, you wanna be in the video? You wanna be in the video, you just wanna eat? You knew I was talking about breast milk, huh? Okay, y'all, let me get him together. Let me get my Mitchell together. Okay. Alright. So, where was I? Wet nurses. The risks are pretty much the same. You know, you just have to be consciously aware of how that mom is living her life, what type of lifestyle, you know, diseases and stuff. Nowadays, you gotta make sure you really know somebody, because people don't tell you everything about them, you know. Another concern of mine though with wet nurses is the bonding experience. Something that I truly love and adore about breastfeeding is the bonding experience. If I was unable to breastfeed that would be a concern of mine, you know, letting my baby have that bonding experience with another woman that is not the mom. You know, it kind of just makes me wonder, well, how is the baby going to receive me, you know? Because a lot of times, you know, a baby doesn't even really be hungry. They just want to just be under their mom and have that safety and security. They're fussy, they're sleepy, they're cranky, they're tired, you know. And if I'm holding my baby and I don't have what the baby wants, I'm not giving that baby that milk time smell, you know, that's going to mess with my heartstrings a little bit. So, you know, the bonding experience is something else too that you have to take into consideration if you decide to have a wet nurse or do what we like to call nowadays cross nursing. Okay. And last but not least, I told you guys about making your own baby food. So there are tons of recipes online. There are tons of videos on YouTube about making your own version of baby milk, similar to human milk, or just, you know, a healthy alternative instead of using baby formula. For me personally, a lot of the recipes that I found have some type of cow milk in it or goat milk, and I'm not okay with either one of those milks. But there are alternatives out there for people who are vegan and would like for their little baby to be vegan or plant-based or whatever you want to call it. You just have to look really, really hard, basically. But even if you are a mom who is breastfeeding, okay, if you're a mom who's exclusively breastfeeding, this option could come in handy for you too, because say an emergency arrives and you're unable to breastfeed, maybe something with your health and you don't want to expose it to your baby, or you have to be away from the baby and the baby still needs to eat and you don't have enough milk saved up or stored up. You know, having that recipe handy and have already tested it out with your baby, and you know, just making sure that the baby is familiar with it and likes it could be good in an event, in case of an emergency. So those are some options for moms out there who have reached their limits or are almost at their limit of breastfeeding, not being able to breastfeed, or maybe moms who are like the young woman that I met that are having problems with formula feeding and then breastfeeding didn't work out, and now you're like stressed out, like I don't know what else to do, my baby needs to eat. Oh my god, look at the sun going down. That's why it just got dark. Anyways, I get distracted so easily. I'm sorry guys. But that's all the information that I have for you. Here comes the sun back up. The cloud must have just went in front of the sun. And thank you for tuning in to another one of my videos. Go ahead and comment now if you haven't already commented. Comment, I'll respond. I love communicating with you guys. And just let me know, donor breast milk, would you, do you, and how do you do it? Something that I left out, drop it in the comments. Share with me, educate me as I educate you. All right, mommies? Peace, family.